Hi everyone, and welcome to the Let's Start Yoga Challenge. In today's class, we will slowly walk through some basic yoga poses like downward facing dog, cobra, or Shavasana. But let's start in easy pose. For easy pose, sit down on your mat, cross your shins, widen your knees, and slip each foot beneath the opposite knee. Relax the feet so their outer edges rest comfortable on the mat. Your pelvis should be in a relatively neutral position. You can either stack the hands in your lap or bring them down onto your knees, palms facing up or down. If they are facing down, this is more for a grounding energy. Lengthen your spine and lengthen your tailbone towards the floor. Firm your shoulder blades against your back, but don't overarch your lower back. And then close your eyes and take 1 or 2 deep breaths. Then open your eyes and slowly come onto your hands and knees with your shoulders over your wrists and your hips over your knees. Spread your fingers wide and press into all 4 corners of your palm. Your feet should be directly behind your legs and your spine is long and neutral. This pose is called table pose. Inhale and gently drop your lower belly. Lift your sitting bone and your sternum up and reach your chest to the front of the room. Cow pose. Then exhale, round your back, press into your hands, spread the shoulder blades wide, and gaze towards your navel. Cat pose. Let's do 3 more like this. Inhale, drop the belly, reach the chest forward. Exhale, round your spine towards the ceiling and release your head toward the mat. Inhale and lift the sitting bones and the chest towards the ceiling. Let the belly sink down. Exhale, press into your hands and round the spine. Let your head hang heavy. 1 more. Inhale to cow pose. Exhale to cat pose. Then come back to a neutral tabletop position. Tuck your toes under and lift your hips up and back to a downward facing dog. If you feel any tightness along the backs of your legs, keep your knees bent. Try to make your spine as long as possible by pressing into the pads of the palms. Firm your shoulder blades against your back and keep your head between the upper arms. Don't just let it hang. You can start to warm up your hamstrings here. Bend one knee and then the other. Tuck your navel towards your spine, then bend both knees. Actively reach your sitting bones as high as you can, and then slowly start to straighten your legs. Your heels don't have to touch the mat. It is more important to reach your sitting bones as high as possible. Then look between your hands and slowly start to walk your feet in between your hands. We are now in a standing forward fold. You can slightly bend your knees here. Make sure that they are not locked. Grab opposite elbows. Let your whole torso hang heavy. You can slightly swing from left to right and feel the gentle stretch in your lower back. Then release your arms. Bring your palms or fingertips onto your shin. And with your next inhale, straighten your elbows and arch your torso away from your thighs. Find as much length between your pubis bone and the navel as possible. You can look forward, but be careful to not compress the back of your neck. Then exhale, release your torso back down to a standing forward fold. And then slowly, vertebra by vertebra, roll up to a standing position. Let your head hang heavy. It's the last thing that comes up. And when you arrive at a standing position, bring your shoulders up to your ears and roll them back down your spine. Let's do this one more time. Inhale, bring the shoulders up, and exhale back down your spine. We are now in mountain pose. Let's start from the feet. Look down to your feet and try to feel if all four corners of your feet are touching the mat. To do this, you can lift your toes up and then slowly, starting with the pinky toe, lower your toes down. Firm your thigh muscles and lengthen your tailbone towards the floor. And then imagine a line of energy all the way up along your inner thighs to your groins, and from there through the core of your torso, neck and head, and out through the crown of your head. Roll your shoulder blades back and release them down your back. With your next inhale, reach your arms overhead, and exhale with a flat back, dive forward to a forward fold. Inhale, bring your hands to your shins, flat back. Exhale, release the hands back down, forward fold. Bend your knees so that you can bring both of your palms next to your feet and come to a plank position, as you know from push-ups. Firmly press into all four corners of your hand. Your shoulders should be directly over your wrists. Engage your core. Don't let your pelvis or hips sink down. Let's all lower our knees down now. Release your toes and then slowly lower first your chest and then your chin down to the mat. Your elbows should stay close to your torso, but your hips stay up high. With your next inhale, slide the torso forward, straighten the legs, and come to cobra. Press the tops of your feet into the floor and lift your torso up as high as you can. Then press into your palms, lift your whole torso up, bring your hips up high. We will now come to child's pose. Spread your knees wide, bring your big toes to touch, and then lower your hips down onto your feet. Child's pose is a great pose to relax. You can come to child's pose whenever you want through your practice. Take a few deep breaths. Inhale and exhale. Relax your belly here. Let it sink between your inner thighs. Then gently lift your head up. Look between your hands. Tuck your toes under and come back to downward facing dog. We will now go through all the poses we learned today a little bit faster. So find your downward facing dog. Bring your navel into the spine. Then look between your hands and walk forward to a forward fold. Inhale, bring your hands to your shins, flat back. Exhale, release back down to a standing forward fold. With your next inhale, reach your arms up high over your head. Exhale, bring your hands down to a prayer in front of your heart. Inhale, reach your arms back up high. Exhale, with a straight back, dive forward to forward fold. Inhale, hands to shins, flat back. Roll your shoulders back. Exhale, release the hands back down. Bend your knees, bring your hands to either side of your feet. Then step back to plank pose. Engage your core, lift your hips up high. Then first, release your knees down. Then release your toes. Then bring your chest down to the mat and your chin. Inhale, slide the torso forward to a baby cobra. And then bring your hips back to a child's pose. Bring your torso up to a seated position. Swing your legs around. And we come to our final pose of the day, which is called Shavasana or corpse pose. Bring your feet to the outer edges of your mat and lay back down onto your back. Rest the backs of your hands on the floor besides your mat. Make sure that your shoulder blades are resting evenly on the mat. And then close your eyes and find stillness in your body and in your mind. Soften the root of your tongue, the wings of your nose, the channels of your inner ear, and the skin of your forehead. Let your eyes sink to the back of your head and turn your gaze inward. Shavasana. Then slowly bring some life back into your hands. Wiggle your feet. Stretch your whole body. Bring your arms over your head. Then roll to one side. Take one deep breath in this fetal position. And then slowly come back to your easy pose that we practiced at the beginning of class. Bring your hands to a prayer in front of your heart. Thanks for practicing with me today. Namaste.